Stories of the past are live at a local cemetery.
After a very foggy start to the morning, we've got a beautiful fall day out there. We'll talk the Halloween forecast and the week ahead coming up.
And early voting numbers are up, but Republicans and Democrats want even more people to hit the polls.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A 12-year-old is critically injured after falling off and getting run over by a hayride trailer in northeast Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol says 15 guests were on the trailer when a 12-year-old girl fell off. It happened Saturday evening shortly after 7 p.m. in Delaware County. Both Grove Fire and EMS responded to the accident on South 650 Road and East 310 Road. That's about 2 miles east of Grove. 6 adults and 9 youth were on the trailer. Troopers say the 12-year-old girl fell off the hayride and the trailer ran over her. She was taken to St. Francis in Tulsa in critical condition with head, arm, leg, and both internal and external trunk injuries. Well, Peace Church Cemetery in Jasper County has a long history, and the workers want to keep it alive, even though new burials have not been done there for years. Even though the cemetery doesn't look full, the 5 acres are packed with graves. According to caretaker Jim Beeler, new burials are not encouraged because there are several unmarked graves. Some of these graves have soldiers from the Civil War, and others are big areas of family graves.
Stories were said that the people were buried on people. I don't know that that's a fact, but when you look around the cemetery, they're buried in all different directions and in all different places.
Beeler says at times people enter the graveyard to have haunted experiences. However, he wishes they would not and instead respect the dead at the cemetery. Well, the trick-or-treating forecast is anything but scary tonight. Chris Warner joins us with the first look.
Yeah, it was a little bit spooky this morning, though, with some of that dense fog across the area where it just kind of worked its way into Joplin on our tower cams. Thankfully, though, the fog has since burned off, and we're starting to shape up with mostly clear skies. And the nice thing about our temperatures is we're just going to be a few degrees above what our normal is, and thankfully nowhere near either of those records. Temperatures across the area do look pretty good so far. 65 Joplin, Pittsburgh, 68 Parsons, 70 in Chanute, 64 in Neodesha, 64 in Carthage, and 62 in Neosho. Now, we've been reminding you about the drought tracker. After the rains last week, it did update, and the exceptional drought got scooted back to the west a little bit, which helps because it also reduces the coverage of the severe and the extreme drought. There's still a large chunk of exceptional drought out there, but there's some rain on the way that might help out with that later this weekend. As we look for the rest of the forecast, we're looking at 68 degrees today, a very mild, very nice day out there under mostly clear skies. But as I mentioned, we do have some rain on the way later this week. But before then, we have a warm-up to tell you about. We're talking some unusual November temperatures. We'll tell you all about those temperatures and, of course, break down the trick-or-treating forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to that for sure. And the unusual November temperatures.
Very unusual.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, millions of Americans have already cast their ballots for the midterms, and tens of millions more will vote before November 8th. The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Republicans are currently in a good position to win a majority in the House, but turnout is key. Skylar Henry reports from the Capitol.
Early voting is in full swing in many states across the country, including in Nevada, where some voters cast their ballots Sunday.
I just want to show my support and do my part in it as well.
A new CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows about 8 in 10 Americans believe things in America are out of control, and a majority of the people who feel that way say they'll vote for Republican candidates.
We have a lot in play. The Democrat agenda is very unpopular.
Get off your couch and...
Democrats deployed big names over the weekend, including former President Barack Obama, to drum up support.
The reason I'm here is simple. I am here to ask you to vote.
Likely voters are also split on their biggest concerns between a functioning democracy or strong economy.
When you see the folks who prioritize functioning democracy, they're voting for Democrats. That's their message. Folks who prioritize a strong economy, they're voting Republican, that's theirs.
Yeah.
Voter intimidation as well as potential violence at polling places remain a concern. A newly released domestic intelligence assessment shows that extremists fueled by election falsehoods posed a heightened threat to the midterms.
Very worryingly, you have threats of harassment, intimidation, and violence against election officials, polling places, and voters.
But federal officials stress there are no specific or credible threats to disrupt voting. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
More than 21 million Americans have already cast early ballots for next week's midterms, and that's according to the U.S. Elections Project. In World Watch, the death toll is rising in India as search and rescue teams scour a river where a century-old pedestrian bridge collapsed. Surveillance video captured the moment right before cables snapped, plunging hundreds of people into the water. Authorities say more than 400 people were celebrating Diwali when the bridge gave way under the heavy weight. More than 130 people are dead, including many children. Police have opened a criminal investigation into why the bridge reopened just 5 days ago, reportedly without permission, after undergoing 6 months of renovations. And at least 2 Americans are among more than 150 people killed in a crush in Seoul, South Korea over the weekend. Thousands had gathered in a nightclub district of the Korean capital to celebrate Halloween. It's unclear what started the deadly crush, but dozens of upcoming large events around the country have been canceled in its wake. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, how skeletons are helping to raise donations for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And later, Howard shows us a spooky dinner recipe for your Halloween night. Well, every day, almost all hours of the day, dozens of people come to this particular house to check out Halloween decorations. But as Elizabeth Holmes reports, they're not just out there to give you a scare.
Every day, almost all hours of the day, dozens of people come to this house to check out these Halloween decorations, but they're not just out here to give you a scare. The Dabney family's front yard on Beverly Drive is jam-packed with Halloween decorations to die for. Hundreds of lights, creepy characters moving in the night. Name any Halloween movie and you might see one you recognize. Katarina Dabney says it's a family affair for the season of frights.
They kept surprising me with certain things, and then we would kind of surprise each other with animatronics until eventually it became this entire yard full.
There's a skeleton waiter, skeleton dogs, a skeleton dragon, all part of Skeletons for St. Jude, something this special education teacher said she wanted to be part of.
So this organization collects money as a group, and then every cent goes to St. Jude. That way we can help all the kids with cancer.
This setup, 5 years in the making, is drawing in donations and hundreds of families who come to stop, stare, and share a story, spooky or not.
It's been very heartwarming. We hear so many stories about others who have had just a hard time, and this motivates them to just continue decorating, or it just brings a moment for them to bond with their families. And so for us, it's not about us, it's about hearing their stories and why they would like to come back each year.
Well, the family is hoping to raise $1,000, and they're hoping to do that before Halloween is over. And that particular display is near Richmond, Virginia, but we have lots of local Halloween events and displays going on. Just check them out on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Need a last-minute meal to serve your ghosts and goblins? We've got it, and it's frighteningly delicious.
But first, take a look at this wonderful shot of this tower cam with the nice skies. We'll tell you how nice it's gonna last coming up. We have a beautiful fall-like day out there. We've been saying that the last few days because that's exactly how it's been, save the weekend where we got some rain. Right now in Joplin, the skies are clear and you can actually see 7th and Range Line from our tower cam because This morning, boy, you couldn't see anything out there with all that fog. 65 in Joplin right now, the light west wind at about 9 miles an hour, so not bad. Temperatures across the region also looking pretty good. The warm spot 70 in Chanute, 64 Neodesha, 68 in Parsons, 63 Lamar, and 64 in Carthage. And over the last several hours across the area, this is what I was talking about with the weekend. We really just hit a point and stopped for a while at 55. And then we started to kind of warm up a little bit Sunday evening because we did get some sunshine, cooled back down, and now we're warming up nicely yet again across the area. And as we go through today, it's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. It already is an absolutely beautiful day. Mostly clear, 68 for the high. And heading into tonight, we're going to be partly cloudy and again right about on par, slightly above where our normal temperature is at 48 degrees. Now, I talked about rain, and rain is something that we do have on the horizon. So we head through the week. First off, I wanted to point out this is a hint at the abnormal November temperatures we're going to see as we get into the lower 70s. We have some cloud cover, and then Friday early morning, we've got a system off to our west coming in, bringing us a good shot of some showers and thunderstorms across the area, and that'll last all the way through, as you can see, into Saturday, and there's the low pressure system associated with it, as you can see with the little twirl of the wind arrows. And then by the time we get into Sunday late morning, early afternoon, that system kicks on out of here and leaves us dry yet again, until we get into Tuesday morning, where we might see another stray shower or two, and then another system by the middle of next week. So rain and rain and rain, which is something we need. Now, the system this weekend is still quite a ways off, so these numbers could change, but this is the latest estimate, though, on rain totals, and this is actually roughly what it was projecting over the weekend as well, so it hasn't changed a lot, but you can see some areas. This is projecting upwards of almost 5 inches of rain out of this system. So it's a lot of rain, and hopefully we don't get it all at once, because the last thing we need are flooding concerns across the area, because 5 inches of rain in a short period would not be good news for us. Okay, now trick-or-treating forecast. Let's talk about that, because everybody's going to be out doing something, right? Or at least most of us will be out doing something this evening. And as you are, it's going to be pleasant. 67 at 6, 64 by 7, and 60 by 8 o'clock. So usually on Halloween around here, it's like sub-zero and you're bundled up so much you can't even wear a costume unless you have a mask, because it's so daggum cold, but not this Halloween, so get out there and enjoy it. And then these are those abnormal temperatures as we head through the week, going back into the 70s. Under partly cloudy skies, and as we head into Friday, we start watching increasing shower and thunderstorm chances. I did want to mention a couple of things about these showers and thunderstorms. One, you already saw, we have the potential, again, it's several days out, and I want to emphasize that point, that it's several days out, but there is the potential for some showers, for the heavy rain, and then there's also the chance that these showers and thunderstorms could potentially be strong to severe. So it's something that we're definitely going to keep an eye on as we get closer. The forecast data will be a little bit more refined. And then the other important thing, item number 3, I suppose, is you see that little clock spinning backwards? That is because do not forget to fall back. You earn an hour of sleep. You have earned that hour of sleep. So make sure you fall back this Sunday as well.
Yes, Sunday in the fall, that day is seriously my favorite day of the year.
Yeah. It's the best day. It's the best day ever. So it's better, I think, for folks who work on the weekend, because now they can go to work an hour later in a sense. So it's a win-win all around. But yeah, like I said, we'll watch these shower and thunderstorm chances. We're still several days out, but some of the consistencies at least show that we could get some pretty decent amounts of rain, and we will watch the potential for them to possibly be strong, maybe severe across the area.
So maybe this weekend wouldn't be the best weekend to put up my Christmas decorations.
I would hold off. You know, honestly, I would wait until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, we traditionally
Some
did like
people
December the 1st.
They start doing them after Halloween. So.
That's very true. Or they just, swap out the colors on their Halloween lights.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. Moving along, we take this time to honor today's 4th state hero, Staff Sergeant Richard Harding in the U.S. Marines. The Fredonia, Kansas native joined the military in 1942. He fought in the South Pacific until 1946, earning a number of honors. Among them, Combat Air Crew Wings the Sharpshooter Award, the Presidential Unit Citation, and 9 Air Medals. To Staff Sergeant Richard Harding, we thank you, our 4th state hero. Looking for a quick dinner that you can really sink your teeth into? Today, Howard shows us how to make a chili cheese dog ring in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Happy Halloween to all you ghosts and goblins. I love this holiday, not only because of the candy, but also because I love seeing the neighborhood kids in costume. And with everything going on today, we decided we needed an easy to make and easy to grab dinner that you can really sink your teeth into. We start by browning some ground beef along with an onion. Once it's crumbled, we add a can of tomato sauce, a bunch of off-the-shelf spices, and a few hot dogs that we've sliced up. After this comes together, we stir in some shredded cheese and set it aside. Now we lay out a couple of cans of refrigerated crescent roll dough so it sort of looks like a sunburst. It's okay if the tips of the dough hang over the edge of the pan. After we spoon our chili mixture on top of that, we fold the tips of the dough over the filling and tuck them into the center before baking it off. You'll know it's done when the crust is golden and the extra cheese that we sprinkle on the top is all melty. I bet Dracula would love to sink his teeth into this. The recipe for our chili cheese dog ring is on our website and is easy enough to make for dinner tonight. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a scary good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, Howard, Dracula might like it if you add a little of your blood. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
We've got perfect trick-or-treating weather across the area, 67 at 6, 64 by 7, and 60 by 8, so get out there and enjoy it. And then look at these abnormal November temperatures in the 70s for the first week of November, and then we're watching those shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into the weekend.
Well, we had an odd October, so why not have an odd November?
Why not? There you go.
Speaking of the end of the month, October 31st is somebody's birthday. Whose birthday is October 31st?
I remember hearing about it this morning. That guy!
He's been here for like 42 years.
That's pretty scary, isn't it? And
it's
to get
Dal
older
Glick's
on
birthday!
Halloween. Yeah, it is, yes.
Happy birthday.
For mentioning that. Thank you.
What do you have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, millions of Americans are living with vision loss, and those conditions also increase their risk for other health and well-being issues. October is Blind Awareness Month. In Health Watch, we're going to learn how one organization is helping people with vision loss navigate and educate the world around them, one step at a time. Plus, Missouri Southern is searching for ghosts as a local author shares stories of supernatural legends and cute Halloween costumes for the babies at the NICU and our local hospitals. Hope you join us at 5.
All right. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.